Lefavor live. Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor live. Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor live. Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor live. Evan Lefavor live.
Spider-Man, 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 and Venom. Spider-Man, 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 and Venom. Hello, everyone in the multiverse and beyond. Welcome to Nostalgia Trip Live, a news update. We're going to talk about all things nostalgic, the past, present, and future of nostalgia. Right here on this show, we cover the nerdiest of news because today's news is tomorrow's nostalgia. So today, we are still mourning the loss of the partnership between Disney and Sony with the Spider-Man deal. But today, it was leaked. A new leaked image has surfaced online that purportedly shows Sony's plans or potential plans for the next 5 years of Spider-Man films with Tom Holland outside of the MCU. So tonight on the show, we're going to do an in-depth breakdown of this leaked list, and we are going to also talk about WandaVision, the new series coming to Disney Plus, and some theories about WandaVision. We're going to take a look at a brand new concept art image that was revealed by one of the conceptual artists at Disney, and talk about what might be happening there. So yeah, let's get right to it, y'all. Here's the image right here. In case you didn't know, as soon as news broke that the deal was officially off the table between Sony and Disney, Disney came along and they basically insulted Sony. They did more than insult Sony. They added insult to injury. They kind of slapped them in the face with the offer they made them, and which is just not how you deal with a Japanese company. You don't do things like that. Like, that's not how you treat your friends, basically. So, unfortunately, the deal between Sony and Disney fell through. And, I knew right away that, Sony's got plans. Sony was ready to reject the deal with Disney because they obviously must have some plans. But so, as soon as official word was released that Sony and Disney were parting ways on the Spider-Man partnership. A meeting was held, a pitch meeting was held between Sony executives at Sony Pictures and Tom Holland, the star of Spider-Man, where I guess some ideas were thrown around. And apparently this leaked image that leaked onto the internet came from this pitch meeting at Sony that Tom Holland was a part of. So, I don't know if this image here, of course, any leak, you have to question the legitimacy. But if this is a legitimate leak, I do not know if these are any kind of official logos, if this is the final official logo for these films, or if this is just a mock-up that someone made at the last minute for this pitch meeting in particular. That I don't know. I have no idea if, like I said, but apparently this was leaked from this meeting with Tom Holland that happened at Sony. So tonight, let's break it down. Let's break it down. Dun, 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 bum, 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 bum. So it says here, 2020, Tom Hardy's Venom 2. So if they're including Venom 2 in the list of Spider-Man movies, maybe we're going to see Spider-Man appear in Venom 2. How cool would that be to have Tom Holland's Spider-Man, or just, I don't know, see, Tom Holland's only signed on for 2 more movies. So I don't know if they're going to use one of those appearances in Venom 2. If anything, maybe Sony's just planning on having Spider-Man pop up at the end of Venom 2 as like a, after credits teaser, like all of a sudden Spider-Man shows up and it's like he doesn't say anything and it's just Spider-Man in the suit and he doesn't say anything and you don't see that it's Tom Holland, but you know that it is Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like that's what I think's probably going to happen in Venom 2. So in 2020 we have Venom 2. And before we break them down, let's just go through them. 2021, we've got Spider-Man X Venom. That must be Spider-Man and Venom. Separation anxiety. Yes. Separation anxiety. Ooh, 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 wee. Ooh, 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 wee. We'll get into that later if you guys don't know what separation anxiety is, but what a perfect title for Spider-Man's first movie. Tom Holland's Spider-Man's first movie separated from the MCU, and calling it separation anxiety, which is, it's so perfect. And it actually is the name of a Venom comic book from the past, a comic run of Venom, and also a video game for Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis back in the day. So we'll get into that soon. And then 2022, we got Spider-Man and Venom versus the Sinister Six. Ooh-wee, the Sinister Six, y'all. We're finally going to see the Sinister Six. But which 6 are going to make up the team? We will see. Sony has access to over 900 Marvel characters in the Spider-Verse. The Spider-Verse that they own is made up of over 900 characters that they own the film rights to and they own the rights to. So believe me when I tell you, narrowing that 900 down to 6 villains is going to be really interesting to see which 6 they pick. And then, 2023 Ultimate Spider-Man. Wow, could this be where we see our first live-action Miles Morales? Could this be Miles Morales' time to shine? A true adaptation of the comic? That would be fucking cool. 2024, Spider-Man, Out of the Spider-Verse. Whoa, shit. Holy shit. A live action Spider-Verse movie? Could this be the movie where Tom Holland's Spider-Man teams up with Miles Morales and Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man 2? All the Spider-Man together in one movie? Holy shit, one live action movie? I mean, that would be awesome. Holy shit, the whole concept of the Spider-Verse, but in live action with a serious tone instead of being a comedic cartoon like Into the Spider-Verse was. And then, holy shit, 2025, the Superior Spider-Man. I knew it. Superior Spider-Man. Yes. Superior Spider-Man, y'all. Hell yeah. Hell to the yeah, y'all. The Superior fucking Spider-Man. I am pumped. If you don't know what Superior Spider-Man is, the Superior Spider-Man. Spoiler alert. Close your ears. Close your ears if you don't want to know. But in the Superior Spider-Man, Dr. Octopus actually possesses Peter Parker's body and becomes Spider-Man. Yes, that's right. Doc Ock. Holy shit, I never thought I'd ever see that adapted to the screen. So who knows, y'all? Is this an accurate list? Is this an accurate portrayal? Or is this bogus? Is this a faked image? I don't know. All right. Is this just all an elaborate April Fool's prank, that came early? I don't know. Or is it legitimate? Did this really leak from this pitch meeting with Tom Holland? Did it really leak? Let's see if I can bring this up a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. There we go. No. It's about as big as I can get it. So, yeah. I'm excited, y'all. At first I was pretty upset. I was really depressed that Tom Holland's Spider-Man was not going to be in the MCU anymore. It really bummed me out. It depressed me. It really did depress me. And so, but then I started thinking about it, and I started thinking, you know what? I prefer Spider-Man to exist within his own universe, separate from all the other Marvel properties. I think it cheapens Peter Parker's journey as a hero, and it cheapens his value as a hero and as a character when he's with 1,000 other superheroes. When there's 1,000 other superheroes other than him, some are way more powerful in other ways and this way and that way, it kind of cheapens the character. Don't get me wrong, Spider-Man can hold toe-to-toe with all the best of them, as you've seen in Civil War and Infinity War and Endgame. You saw that Spider-Man can obviously hang toe-to-toe with the best, and that it is awesome to get to see Peter Parker and Spider-Man interact with some of Marvel's greatest heroes, right? But that's why we have to be thankful that we got to see that. We have to be thankful that we got to see that, and we have to move on. We have to move on and say, you know what? We're really lucky that we got to see this awesome story about Peter Parker's relationship with Iron Man and him becoming an Avenger and all this cool stuff. We have to realize that we really did luck out, okay? And it's only human nature to want more, but we can't really go out questing for more right now. We can't go around questing for more. We have to accept that the MCU is going to go this way, and Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse are going to go this way, and embrace that. And you know what? If this list is to be believed, I embrace it. I fully embrace this. If this list is to be believed, I embrace it, because, it is showing that, you know, Sony can come up with some compelling Spider-Man content in its own Spider-Verse. And I'm going to go through all these movies and tell you what I think, how I think each and every one of these movies could be amazing. Okay? So thank you all for watching this and sharing and all that jazz. Thank you so much, everyone out there in internet land and beyond, for sharing the link to this stream. It means a lot. So, okay, let's go over this, shall we? Venom 2. What's going to happen in Venom 2? I think Tom Hardy's going to return. We're going to get an epic, very stylized movie. Very visually stunning. I mean, this is fucking Andy Serkis directing this. And if they really let him just take the reins and take full control of this film, then I think we're really in for a treat here, guys. I mean, if anyone can pull off the visual style needed to really bring Carnage and Venom to the screen like they deserve to be brought to the screen, it's Andy Serkis, y'all. So if they can throw a Spider-Man cameo in there now, which they can, believe me, and if Sony's smart, they will put in at least a teaser at the end of Spider-Man showing up at the end of Venom 2. And, you know, because if what we see here is to be believed, in 2021, we're going to get Spider-Man and Venom separation anxiety. So in Venom 2, Venom is gonna purportedly face off against Carnage. And maybe the battle does not get decided in that movie. Maybe it ends on a cliffhanger where there isn't a winner. You know, wouldn't that be great? A comic book movie where the good guy doesn't win and the bad guy doesn't win either. They just both live on to fight another day. And that could lead into Spider-Man and Venom separation anxiety. Okay, so Spider-Man and Venom separation anxiety was a comic book. Let me bring it up here, guys. Let me bring it up. Let me bring it up here. Let me bring it up here for all of you. Ooh. Okay. All right. Here we go. Oops. Here we go. Venom Separation Anxiety is a 4-issue comic limited series published by Marvel Comics from December 1994 to March 1995. The plotline features Eddie Brock separated from his symbiote costume. It stems off of a Spider-Man arc, also published by Marvel from November 94 to December 94. So this is what happens after Eddie and... So this is all going to be encapsulated probably into this movie. Okay, Eddie Brock and the alien parasite are now held at very distant locations from one another. His 5 spawns created by the Life Foundation show up and bust Eddie out because they want him to teach them how to control their symbiotes. Okay, so basically Carnage has gone crazy, and all the symbiotes, along with Carnage, are causing mayhem. And so this is Separation Anxiety. This is a Venom comic from back in the past. And not only that, there was a video game, Venom and Spider-Man Separation Anxiety, where it says Spider-Man and Venom team up to defeat the evil symbiote Carnage. Okay, Though the game is titled after the comic book series Venom Separation Anxiety, the story more closely follows the events of Venom's first limited series, Lethal Protector. So see here. They don't really say what the story of the game is much here, but the moral of the story is, okay, cool. Spider-Man and Venom, separation anxiety. What a perfect fucking name for Spider-Man's first non-MCU movie. Tom Holland's Separation. So what's going to happen? I think we're gonna have the Spider-Verse introduced right away. I think the movie's going to start out with Peter Parker perhaps busting the Kingpin or something. Somehow it's going to echo what we saw in the Into the Spider-Verse cartoon, the animated. I think somehow they're going to show that Peter Parker leaves the universe of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is implied that he is leaving his home universe that was established in those other films. And Sony can do this without showing anything. Okay? They can do this without showing anything. And of the MCU or anything, Aunt May, any of the other characters, Peter Parker, Tom Holland's Peter Parker can just go through a dimensional vortex, some kind of transport to another dimension. And because he's enemy number one now, after Spider-Man Far From Home, he's enemy number one, so he's got to escape. So maybe that is how Spider-Man and Venom separation anxiety begins, that he has to escape his entire timeline, his whole universe he's got to escape. Okay, so maybe he ends up in Venom's universe. And so maybe in Spider-Man and Venom, this new team-up movie, this separation anxiety, Venom, the symbiote Venom, maybe he sees Peter Parker, the hero from this other timeline, and he goes, Eddie Brock, he's yesterday's news. I want to merge with Peter Parker, because imagine the team we could be. So maybe in the beginning of this new movie and separation anxiety, maybe the Venom symbiote leaves Eddie Brock and goes to Peter Parker. Wow. Imagine that, huh? And then that would give Eddie Brock a reason to have beef with Peter Parker. Like maybe they start out on the same side, but then Venom decides to leave Eddie for Peter. And then Peter Parker dons the black Venom suit. And imagine Peter Parker and Venom. How crazy will that be? And then perhaps there could be a poignant moment in the movie where, Peter Parker finally decides to shed the Venom symbiote and give it back to Eddie so they can both kick ass together. Because Peter realizes that, sure, he and Venom together are more powerful than any other hero on the planet. But maybe he can't do it alone. Maybe it's better that he share his powers with someone else and give the symbiote back to Eddie. So he does that, and they're able to fight off the other symbiotes in Carnage. So this movie would be all about Spider-Man and Venom teaming up together. If I was in control of it, it would be about Spider-Man and Venom ultimately teaming up with each other at the end to take down Carnage and the other symbiotes. So we do the whole black suit saga, everything, all in that one movie. Hopefully that's what they're going to do. Okay? Because if you're going to put Venom and Spider-Man in the same movie, you might as well do Separation Anxiety. It's the perfect fucking title and the perfect storyline. And then moving on, it looks like, okay, Spider-Man and Venom are now friends. Peter Parker and Eddie Brock are friends. And they team up to take on the Sinister Six in the year 2022. Now, Imagine that, folks. Imagine that. Holy shit. I'm there day one. I'm just trying to imagine which 6 it's going to be. I mean, oh, wow. I think you got to establish Doc Ock. Doc Ock's got to be in it. I hope they get Doc Ock in it. And I don't know who we could cast as Doc Ock, but maybe we'll have that as a future episode of Dreamcast. Yeah, we're going to do that as an episode of Dreamcast. We're going to cast the Sinister Six. But yeah, so, wow. Yeah, the Sinister Six. Who could it be? I think, Doc Ock, I think Norman Osborn needs to be established. Doc Ock needs to be established. Man, there's some other ones. I mean, we really could establish quite a few different things. And wouldn't it be cool if they got Ned to come back? I hope Sony still has access to the Ned character. I don't know who owns the rights to that character or any of these other characters. I mean, Sony might not be able to use Zendaya's MJ or Ned from the Spider-Man movies. But it would be cool to see if that Ned exists in Venom's timeline, but he becomes the Hobgoblin. Because in case you didn't know, the Hobgoblin is Ned Leeds. And I don't know if we ever hear Ned's last name, Peter Parker's best friend Ned from the Homecoming and Far From Home. But yeah, Jesus, I'm gonna have to tune in. I've got another show on my channel called Dreamcast where we come up. I challenge a guest, and we come up with I come up with my hypothetical casting choices for a hypothetical film, and my guest does the same, and then the audience votes live on which one of us has the best cast. But yeah, like I said, Tom Holland is only signed on for 2 more movies, so it looks like Sony is going to have both of those movies be Venom team-up movies. So it looks like Sony's really swinging for the fences that they want to have their big team-up Avengers-style blockbuster event film. That they consider Homecoming and Far From Home to be the 2 solo films that built up, and Venom 2 that built up toward this epic shared universe that's about to explode in these 2 Venom team-up movies. So it looks like Sony might have thrown this lineup together because Tom Holland is only signed on for 2 more films. And so my guess is those 2 films are the 2 Venom team-up movies. So, judging by what's coming in 2023, Ultimate Spider-Man, and we all know that Miles Morales is Ultimate Spider-Man. Miles Morales, that's the name of his comic book is Ultimate Spider-Man. And, of course, when Peter Parker was Spider-Man, his comic was also called Ultimate Spider-Man. But, spoiler alert, in the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, Peter Parker dies and Miles Morales takes up the mantle of Spider-Man. And so what we're going to probably see, we're probably going to see Peter Parker and Spider-Man die in the end of Spider-Man and Venom versus the Sinister Six. We're probably going to see him die at the end of that movie. And then in the beginning of Ultimate Spider-Man, we're probably going to see his death retold through the eyes of Miles Morales, who was affected by Spider-Man's death. And so then Miles becomes the next Spider-Man in Ultimate Spider-Man in 2023, which I'm excited for. I'm excited for Miles Morales to have a true live-action adaptation at long last. I'm excited that, because as good as Into the Spider-Verse was, unfortunately, they were unable to accurately 100% one-to-one adapt Miles Morales' origin story in the comics onto the big screen in that movie because Marvel and Disney had stolen some of the best aspects of Miles Morales' Spider-Man from him and put them into Peter Parker's character and his story in Homecoming and Far From Home. So, Miles Morales has his friend Genki in the comics, and Peter Parker in Homecoming and Far From Home, his friend Ned is a carbon copy of Genki, and the relationship between the two of them. It's a carbon copy. It was directly stolen from Miles Morales and given to Peter Parker in the MCU. So I would like to see that rectified. I would like to see, now that Sony has control of Spider-Man again, I would like to see Peter Parker become Peter Parker again, all right? Because it's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe was really turning Peter Parker into someone that he's not, and they were turning him into Iron Man Jr., and, sure, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is fucking great. He's great as Spider-Man. He's fucking awesome, right? Tom Holland's not the problem at all because he's actually the solution. He's the star. He's the reason why Spider-Man worked so well. And yes, the Russo brothers knew what to do with Spider-Man, okay? And in Homecoming and Far From Home, they knew what to do with Spider-Man, okay? And it was great. But it wasn't the most comic book accurate portrayal of the character in terms of having the canon origin that the character does in the comics. So I'm excited to see Sony perhaps rectify that and make Peter Parker more in touch with who he is as a solo hero. Because, I love Peter Parker's hero journey. I love it when he's like the only good guy. He's the only hero in the world. Okay? And let Venom be an anti-hero. Let Venom be an anti-hero. Okay? And so I'm excited to see Ultimate Spider-Man in 2023 and see a live-action Miles Morales back on the big screen. 2024, Spider-Man. Out of the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man Out of the Spider-Verse, y'all. Could this be the live-action Spider-Verse movie we've been all waiting for? The live-action movie where we see Tom Holland's Spider-Man team up with Miles Morales and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man 2. Imagine seeing them all together fighting a new threat, unified together. What if the Sinister Six is not defeated in Venom and Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six? What if they win? What if, like Thanos, they win in the end of that movie and Spider-Man's dead? And then Miles Morales has to rise up and face off the Sinister Six, and then it leaves on a cliffhanger at the end leading into Spider-Man where Tom Holland's back from the dead from another universe, and so is Tobey Maguire from another universe, and so is Andrew Garfield from another universe. And all the Spider-Man team up together to take on the Sinister Six once and for fucking all. And then at the end, they all return to their universes again, and it's just it's everybody's in their own universe. Wouldn't that be some wild shit? And then I think that would be great, y'all. I'm pumped for that. Would you guys be pumped for that? Leave me a comment. I want you guys to comment on this video and let me know which one of these movies you're most excited for. And then 2025, The Superior Spider-Man. The Superior Spider-Man. It's kind of a tongue twister. I don't know who's going to be the star of this movie. Is it going to be Miles Morales? Is it going to be Peter Parker? Is it going to be Tom Holland's Peter Parker? This is 5 years into Peter Parker is going to be 5 years older at this point. So we're dealing with an older Spider-Man. And this, in case you didn't know, spoiler alert, the Superior Spider-Man is about Doc Ock, Dr. Octopus, possessing Peter Parker, taking over his body, and stealing his life and becoming Spider-Man. And it's a crazy story, a body snatching story. We're actually going to see this play out on the big screen. We're going to get to see Spider-Man, but it's not fucking really Spider-Man. It's Doc Ock in his body. Like, how, I don't know how this is going to play out, but I'm fucking excited, you know. You know, maybe Doc Ock works with Peter Parker and he's in love with I know. What if Doc Ock works hand in hand with Peter Parker and Peter Parker is dating Gwen Stacy and Doc Ock falls in love with Gwen Stacy, but he realizes that she'll never leave Peter Parker for him. So he comes up with a way to possess Peter Parker's body. He's like, I'm done being a scientist. I'm just going to make it like I disappeared and I'll just go missing, but I'll take over Peter's body and then I'll be with Gwen. So he does this maniacal plan and then that's when he discovers that Peter Parker's really Spider-Man after he's already taken over his body. Holy shit, how crazy would that be, huh? How fucking wild would that be that Doc Ock comes up with a way to steal Peter Parker's body and possess his body, but, you know, he doesn't know he's Spider-Man until after he does this. And he's like, holy shit, I have all these powers. And then, you know, he's forced because he's in love with, what's her nuts? Gwen Stacy or whoever it is. And hopefully it will be Gwen Stacy. Because then maybe in 2026 we'll get our Spider-Gwen movie. Wouldn't that be cool? Spider-Gwen, Spider-Gwen. And these are just the Spider-Man movies. We could definitely see a Venom 2 in 2024 to go alongside Spider-Man Out of the Spider-Verse. We could see Ultimate Spider-Man 2 come out the same year as Superior Spider-Man. We could see Venom 3 come out the same year as Spider-Gwen in 2026. So, look, guys, I'm over it. MCU who? MCU who boo hoo. All right, I'm over the split. I'm over the split, guys. I'm into this. I'm feeling this, y'all. I'm feeling Spider-Man being back in his own universe again. Okay? I'm feeling it, guys. I like this. I like this, and I'm hoping that Tom Holland signs on for all these movies. I want to see Tom Holland in all these movies. And like I said, it looks to me like Sony has designed this to have a backup plan so that if Tom Holland doesn't sign on for any more movies, they can kill him off in 2022 Spider-Man and Venom versus the Sinister Six. And then in 2024, if Tom Holland continues to not want to return as Spider-Man, I'm sure they could pull off the movie with just Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Miles Morales. Okay, I'm sure they could if Tom wanted to be like that. But let's hope Tom Holland promised us he'd play Spider-Man for the rest of his life if he could. So, dude, please, Tom Holland, if you're watching, come through with that, dude. Come through with that fucking promise, dude, because we need it, yo. We need Spider-Man, Because look, guys, I'm one of the biggest Spider-Man fans on the planet, and I really, I had a lot of troubles. I had a lot of problems with his portrayal in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think they got a lot of things right. I think they got the casting of Tom Holland right. I think the casting was perfect. I think they really nailed that balance, the weight of being a hero and how it really affects Peter Parker's real life as Peter Parker. And, they nailed it in so many ways, but in other ways, they did things that weren't really accurate to how his origin story really is in the comics. And, the whole thing with turning Tony Stark into the new Uncle Ben and all this stuff. And Marvel looked at it as adding things to the Peter Parker character, but I saw it as taking away things from the Peter Parker character. All right, when you make Peter Parker rely on Iron Man and Stark technology for all his gadgets and everything, you're taking away a core element of what makes Peter Parker's character so fucking awesome. The fact that he comes up with all this shit on his own. This poor kid from New York comes up with all this shit on his own. Somehow. Such a more compelling story than, my name's Peter Parker and I was just handed everything by Iron Man. Okay? People go around treating the Marvel Cinematic Universe like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, like it's infallible, like they can do no wrong, like they never fuck up, like everything they do is gold and it's, inscrutable, inscrutinizable, I should say. It's like they don't always hit the mark all the time. And they do fuck up a lot of things. And they do make a lot of creative choices that are questionable, especially when it came to Spider-Man. Okay? So yeah, I don't blame Sony for saying, yoink, we can do this. I don't blame Sony at all for yoinking Spider-Man back and saying, no, we're going to do Venom 2. We're going to do Separation Anxiety. We're going to do Spider-Man and Venom versus the Sinister Six. We're going to do Ultimate Spider-Man. We're going to do Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. We're going to do Superior Spider-Man. We're going to do Spider-Gwen. Among Morbius. Among all this other shit. Okay? So don't get it twisted. Sony's going to be fine and Marvel's going to be fine. All right? If anything, Marvel's the one that's fucked in this deal. All right? The MCU, because, and if Kevin Feige did not negotiate parting terms into the contract, then that's very foolish. The contract with the Spider-Man deal should have clearly stated that they have the right to mention Peter Parker and Spider-Man in at least 3 future Marvel movies in order to explain his absence if the contract negotiations were to ever fall through. They should have stipulated that right off the bat. They should have said, look, we need to be, if you guys are going to pull Spider-Man away from the MCU for any reason, we need to have a legal option to be able to explain it in our movies. Because you can't just have us build Peter Parker up to be the successor to Iron Man and the next leader of the Avengers and all this other crazy shit and build the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe around this character all of a sudden just to yank it away without allowing us to explain his absence, his sudden absence. So I'm hoping Kevin Feige was smart enough to have the foresight to put it in the contract with Sony that they have the right to still mention Peter Parker in at least 1 or 2 more future MCU movies to explain his absence. Because it would really suck if he just disappeared. All right. and we'd have to wait for fucking the Deadpool movie where they have Tom Holland sitting on, Deadpool's couch and shit, and Deadpool makes a joke about it, calling him Night Monkey or some shit. So that would be funny. That would be great, guys. How great would it be if Marvel signed Tom Holland on to play Night Monkey in the Deadpool movie? Like, wouldn't that be great if, like, the Deadpool movie started with, like, Happy Hogan walking into what looks like Peter Parker's room, and there's Tom Holland sitting there. He's like, we have to go now. And then, like, he's like, I have to introduce you to someone. And he introduces him to Deadpool. He's like, you're a wanted man. Your name, you can't even say it anymore. The name you were born with, you can't even say it anymore. They're looking at Tom Holland. You can't even utter your name. And you can't demonstrate any of your superpowers anymore, ever again, ever, for any reason. Okay, so all that shit you used to be able to do, okay, I don't give a fuck if you used to be able to fly like Superman. You can't fucking do it anymore, dude. And they're like explaining this shit. Then Deadpool's like, from now on, your only name is Night Monkey. And you are my sidekick. And then boom, the first Deadpool movie is Deadpool and Night Monkey, y'all. That'd be great. And it's Tom Holland playing Night Monkey. Not Peter Parker, not Spider-Man. It's just implied that that's who he is. To keep Night Monkey alive in the MCU. And then they could do all kinds of shit. They could be like, if anyone asks you, you were bitten by a radioactive gecko, and that's why you can climb on the walls. Deadpool says that to Night Monkey. Tom Holland is Night Monkey. That's hilarious. That's a great idea, isn't it, guys? Fucking... That needs to happen. I'm going to fucking contact Ryan Reynolds because I could get a hold of him and have my people call his people and shit. Be like, hey, Ryan Reynolds, dude, sign Tom Holland on for the Deadpool movie. And he's not playing Spider-Man. He's not playing Peter Parker. He's playing fucking Night Monkey, dude. Mm-hmm. The man without a name. The man whose past was erased. The man who became enemy number one and had to erase his very identity from existence. Dude, that would be fucking great. I'm fucking down. Deadpool and Night Monkey. But besides that, I support Sony's move here. I don't know if Sony intentionally leaked this image from the pitch meeting. I don't know if they intentionally leaked it to kind of curb enthusiasm toward their direction after the whole split with the MCU. I could see that happening. But I mean, I've scrutinized this image and it looks to me like these are not official. I don't think these are official images at all. If this is a legit image that leaked from this pitch meeting between Tom Holland and Sony executives that happened a couple days ago, if that's the truth, then I don't think that these logos are any kind of official final logos at all. So, because I've kind of zoomed in on it with a fine-tooth comb and did some detective work on it, and it looks like it's not a final official logo for any of these films. But yeah, so I mean that's what I think, Marvel should do if they have if is anything is have Deadpool explain the absence of Peter Parker, and I would turn him into Night Monkey, dude. I would imply that Peter Parker became Night Monkey. All right? Without saying the name Peter Parker, without saying the name Spider-Man, without having a web shooter or an Aunt May or anything. Okay? He's in the witness protection program now. He can never go home. Okay? So I'm gonna call up fucking Ryan Reynolds, and then I'm gonna be like, hey, Ryan Reynolds, call up Kevin Feige, call up Tom Holland, get them motherfuckers on the phone, and get this Deadpool and Night Monkey shit up and running, y'all. We want it in phase 4. We want Night Monkey in phase 4. Because Sony can't say, oh, Tom Holland, you can't be in a Marvel movie. He can be in a Marvel movie as long as he's not playing Spider-Man. And if it's only implied that he's still playing Spider-Man, then Sony can't do shit. So, yeah. Yeah, you have to have seen Spider-Man Far From Home to understand what Night Monkey means. Okay? Night Monkey was Marvel's backup plan for how they could keep Tom Holland and Peter Parker in the Marvel Cinematic Universe legally if Sony were ever to pull them out. They slyly put in this Night Monkey concept into Spider-Man Far From Home, where Peter Parker can't be Spider-Man, so he dresses in all black, and it's not a Spider-Man suit. It's like some other suit. There's no Spider-Man logo on it or anything. And he doesn't have his, so, and he goes around and they call him Night Monkey. So they... In case anybody out there watching didn't know what Night Monkey is yet. Yeah, so Deadpool and Night Monkey has to happen. But I'm pumped, y'all. I'm pumped for these Sony movies. And yeah, Marvel, they've got some shit to do. But speaking of shit to do... Dun, 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 dun. Look at this, y'all. WandaVision is coming. Yes, WandaVision is fucking coming, y'all. WandaVision. 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 Wow, now that is a beautiful image right there. Okay, y'all. We heard early on that WandaVision was going to be a trippy show. Like, this show is going to trip us out, and I think I figured it out what this show is going to be about. And oh my God, there's some symbolism, some Illuminati symbolism about our reality that's going to be embedded into this show. Because, in case you didn't know, Wanda Maximoff, otherwise known as the Scarlet Witch, is a very, very, very powerful mutant. Oh my God, I cannot believe I don't know this offhand. Let me see here. Da, 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 da. I believe she is an Omega level mutant. The Scarlet Witch Omega level. Oh, damn. She isn't an Omega level mutant. Okay, well, here's the thing. Maybe she's not technically an Omega level mutant, but she's fucking powerful, and she's powerful enough that she could make all mutants just disappear with her mind. So she's powerful enough to pull off some pretty amazing shit. So what we have here is WandaVision is a show where Scarlet Witch has resurrected her husband, Vision, and she has wiped his memory of their real life as Avengers and heroes and saving the world. And she has transported him to a simulated reality that she is using her powers to generate. And they are living in a 1950s white picket fence, Dick Van Dyke show, perfect sitcom, family life. And he has no idea his true past. He has no idea about the Avengers or saving the world or superheroes until you discover the true nature of the title of this show. WandaVision is not just a combination of Wanda Maximoff's name and Vision's name together. I think it also represents one of the most prominent things you will see in this concept art released just a day ago. The television set that is emanating this red glow. I think WandaVision represents the television in this simulated reality. I think her on the TV, I think Wanda and her husband, Vision, and his name is not going to be Vision. I don't know what his name is going to be in this show, but it's not going to be Vision. They are going to watch on TV, they are going to watch movies and TV shows and cartoons based on the true stories that they actually participated in. That's right. Wanda is going to sit there on the couch with Vision, and he thinks this is all real. Vision thinks that it's 1950s, and he's just sitting there with his wife, Wanda, on the couch watching TV and watching superhero shows about the Avengers and these fictional characters known as the Avengers and these fictional characters like Thanos, the big villain. And Wanda is introducing these concepts to Vision through the TV, through WandaVision. And so they sit down and so Vision has no idea the reality he exists in is not real. Vision has no idea. He thinks it's really 1950s, and he thinks the Avengers and all this superhero stuff is all fictional. But in reality, it's his reality that he believes is true that is really the fictional reality. And everything he's ever seen on TV and in the movies is the real stories of what he's really been through. And this is going to be like the Truman Show meets the Matrix, y'all. WandaVision is going to be like the Truman Show meets the Matrix. And it's going to be a awakening tale of how Vision awakens to the true nature of his reality and the fact that he is really a superhero and that he died and that his girlfriend is actually simulating his consciousness in this reality so that they can live happily together away from this hectic life of being superheroes all the time. Holy shit. Now that's a fucking 111 Illuminati Evanism, y'all. What do you think about that? And I'm putting my money on that's what it is, y'all. My money is firmly on that being the plot of WandaVision. What do you guys think? Is there anybody out there in internet land watching? Throw a 111 in the chat if you think would like to see that be what WandaVision's all about. If that's what WandaVision is all about, are you excited about WandaVision now? Are you going to get Disney Plus now? Come on, y'all. It's time to migrate. Dark Crystal is the last vestige of Netflix that we need to care about. Sorry, Kevin Smith's upcoming Masters of the Universe. It's not just worth that $15 anymore. We need Disney Plus. I'm migrating. I'm switching over to Disney Plus right away in November, y'all. And because I want WandaVision. People don't know. I mean, this is going to be like The Matrix, y'all, meets The Truman Show. How fucking cool is that? And, and it's a Marvel thing. And it's like symbolism, y'all. It's symbolism for what's really going on in this world. For what's really going on right now. Because what if we're really superheroes and we're in a simulated reality where we watch stories about ourselves on TV and stories about ourselves in the movies, unknowing that these are real stories of things that have actually happened to us in the real world. But we are just in a simulated reality where we are being told that we are just regular human beings and that all these stories we see are just works of fiction, unknowing that these are stories about us. These are true stories about us that we see on the big screen when we go to see these movies. So I think that is the double entendre of WandaVision, is that it represents the TV. It represents the stuff they watch on TV. And it represents the fact that Vision thinks his world is real, but it's not. His world is the TV show. And the shows he watches on TV are the stuff that's real from the real world. So I can't wait for Vision to discover that he's really an AI god superhero who helped save the world. He thinks he's just a 1950s house dad. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that their kids are in this show, y'all. This would be the perfect time to introduce their children in this show. They better fucking do it. Because I want them in Young Avengers, damn it. Okay? Okay, man. Okay, man. You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand? Huh? Do you get it? Do you fucking get it? Huh? Yeah. So I'm pumped, y'all. WandaVision, I'm fucking pumped, y'all. Look, Netflix can't compete anymore, okay? Netflix, sure, if you like The Walking Dead, Netflix has a lot of TV shows on that motherfucker. You can watch Star Trek, Walking Dead, all these things, but you know what? Disney Plus has that content you need, man. It's got that shit you need, man. It's got the shit you need. It's not just the shit you want, it's the shit you need, man. Netflix might have the shit you want, but Disney Plus has got that shit you need, man. You like keeping up with the MCU? You like going to the next Guardians of the Galaxy or the next Avengers movie and knowing the full story? Well, you're going to need Disney Plus to get that full story, or you're just not going to get it all. So Disney Plus is not just the shit you want, it's the shit you need. And for $7 a month, as opposed to Netflix's fucking $16 a month in some places, there's no competition, y'all. Especially when you factor in that Hulu bundle. For $15, you get the Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN bundle. It's over. Netflix is going to have to drop down to $8 a month to compete, or they're going under. I'm telling you, you don't know it. Netflix does not know it yet, but they are in for the rudest awakening of their lifetime. When Disney Plus hits in November, you are going to see overnight people are going to be canceling their subscriptions. Everybody's waiting to do it, dude. We're waiting until fucking Halloween, dog. As soon as Halloween's over, dude, guess what? Netflix is gone and Disney Plus is here, y'all. And Netflix stock is going to plummet. The next Netflix subscription base is going to plummet. And they're going to panic. It's going to be, Netflix is going to be down to $8 a month, I'm predicting, within 3 months' time of Disney Plus hitting. Okay? Within 3 months' time of Disney Plus hitting, Netflix is going to be back down to $8 a month again, okay? Because they can't compete with Disney Plus when Disney Plus is half as much, okay? And it doesn't matter how much content Netflix has, because now that Disney owns Hulu and Fox, they can flood Hulu with Fox content, y'all, and Disney content. And Disney owns so many subsidiaries. Do you know how many subsidiaries are owned by Disney? I don't know if you do. I mean, there's shit that Disney owns that they don't let you know they own. Like the horror movies and shit that they produce through different shit that they own. They just don't go around talking about it. Disney owns pretty much everything. So, speaking of horror movies produced by Disney, I can't wait for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, because WandaVision is gonna lead into that. WandaVision, and I would love to discover that House of X happened, House of M happened prior to the events of the introduction of Scarlet Witch. In case you didn't know, in the events of House of M, let's see here, House of M, because Scarlet Witch is Magneto's daughter. Spoiler alert. Okay. House of M. The storyline consists of a core of 8-issue comic book limited series. Brian Michael Bendis. It's a follow-up to the events of Planet X and Avengers Disassembled. Ooh, wonder if that'll be the next name. In which the mutant superhero Scarlet Witch suffered a mental breakdown and tried to alter the fabric of reality to recreate her lost children. Okay, so I think at the end of I think we're gonna, in WandaVision, we're gonna get introduced to her two children, Vision and Wanda's two children. Okay. And she's going to try to bring them into the real world. She's going to bring them out of this fictional reality she's created, this 1950s bullshit reality. She's going to bring her children into the real world, and it's going to create the multiverse of madness. It goes on to say, from House of M, Scarlet Witch's father, Magneto, and her twin brother, Quicksilver, played major roles in the series. Okay. So let me go back down here for a second. So here's basically what it is. Scarlet Witch altered the entire Marvel universe and the structure and history of Earth. So basically, let me get to the point here. of what she does. Okay. 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 Here we go. Here it is. Okay. Suddenly Scarlet Witch appears and returns her brother to life. Scarlet Witch brings Quicksilver back to life. She begins lashing out, saying, "We're freaks, mutants. You chose this over us and you ruined us, Daddy," she's screaming at Magneto. Then she utters, "No more mutants," and everything turns white once again. So in the House of M storyline, Scarlet Witch gets rid of every mutant in existence with her powers. So what if that already happened before the MCU as we know it existed? So the MCU we know is all an alternate reality created by what Scarlet Witch did when she got rid of all mutants. So what if we find out in the multiverse of madness that Scarlet Witch got rid of all mutants? Okay, and what if we have some X-Men getting introduced in this movie? How cool would it be to introduce Charles Xavier into a Doctor Strange movie? How cool would it be to introduce Magneto into a Doctor Strange movie? I don't know if it'll happen, but I'm just saying. I think if House of M happened if we find out that House of M already happened, like that would be some deep, heavy shit, man. I think that would be the way to go. Either way, I'm pumped for WandaVision, y'all. I think it's going to be great. Yeah. So get that shit ready. And of course, let's see what else was talked about. What else was talked about recently? We've got this big Star Wars reveal. The big Star Wars reveal that they showed some Star Wars footage, and they showed Rey in a dark cloak with Darth Maul's lightsaber. And she comes out of the shadows and she ignites both ends of the lightsaber, and she's got the dark cloak on. And everybody's like, "Oh, it's evil Rey, it's Sith Rey. Oh shit, Rey turns to the dark side. It's dark side Rey." Come on, guys. Have we forgotten Return of the Jedi so quickly? You remember how Luke. You remember how Luke looked in Return of the Jedi, how he had a black cloak on and he was wearing all black? It doesn't mean he was a dark side version of himself. It just means he was wearing black. And what if Rey somehow attains Darth Maul's lightsaber? Maybe she defeats an ancient Darth Maul. Maybe she has to confront an ancient Darth Maul and she gets his lightsaber or something. I don't know, but it does not mean that she turned to the dark side or that she's going to turn to the dark side or anything like that. So, I mean, I think they wouldn't have, because look, if Rey turned to the dark side in this movie, they would not have showed it at D23, okay? So, that's just the moral of the story, okay? That's just the moral of the story. That's just the moral of the story. So anyway, in other nerd news, in other nerdy, nostalgic news, let's see, what else is going on in the multiverse and beyond? We're just a little over a month away, and Nintendo Switch is going to have Link's Awakening, the remake, coming out, as well as Dragon Quest. So we want, start saving up now, kids. It's time It's time to save up. There's some great games for you Switch owners coming. But other than that, y'all, I think I've covered it all tonight on the show. We've talked about WandaVision. We've talked about this supposed leaked image of the Venom and Spider-Man movie slate for the next 5 years. Ooh-wee, y'all. Remember, today's news is tomorrow's nostalgia. That's why we go on this nostalgia trip together, live, on Nostalgia Trip Live, where we talk about all news that is nerdy right here, where the fans out in internet land ask their friend forever to talk nerdy to me. And ooey, ooey, ooey. That's how we do it. Thank you for watching, sharing, liking, and subscribing. Make sure to click the bell to stay updated for these Nostalgia Trip Live news updates. Ooey, ooey, ooey. When I find out more about Spider-Man and all these other superhero movies and properties, you're going to hear it here. So let's discuss it right here. On that note, y'all, I must go, but I will see you next time. I will see you next time on the Evan Lefavor Live channel. Bye. WandaVision. Damn, I'm excited for WandaVision. Look at that. Yes. And she looks so good. Doesn't Elizabeth Olsen look so fucking cute as Mary Tyler Moore? Mary Tyler Moore was my first crush, y'all. Truth be told. I used to be watching that Dick Van Dyke show like a motherfucker, just being like, ooh, wee. Ooh, wee. And Elizabeth Olsen definitely brings the motherfucking ooh-wee to the table. Vision is a lucky man. It's going to be a good show. We are lucky that we get to watch WandaVision. Oh, yeah, and Disney Plus, before I go, Disney Plus announced that they are not doing the binge model. So these Disney Plus shows are going to release one episode a week. One episode a week for 6 weeks. So you're not going to be able to see the end of WandaVision until week 6, guys. So no more people binge watching the whole season in one night and then spoiling it for everyone else. No. Disney Plus has taken us into consideration and said, you know what, we're going to do it just one episode a week. So that's interesting, y'all. So that's it, y'all. That's it for now. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, everyone out there in internet land and beyond. Good night.
Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, live. Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, live. Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, live. Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, live. Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, live. Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, Evan Lefavor, live. Evan Lefavor, live.